In this Maintenance Monday live stream, I'm going to show you how to set the default text filter for the administrator group in the control panel of your Joomla site. Hey there, Joomla fans. Tim Davis here. I'm a Joomla fan too. And thanks for tuning in to Maintenance Monday issue number 43. I've done 43 in a row. And if you were watching last week, you saw a frightening one where I had bad internet connection and my face was melting and it didn't exactly quite work out so well. So I re-recorded that one last night. You can find it on the in the YouTube channel. I don't have that on the basic Joomla site yet, but today we're going to tackle a new fresh subject, and I'm behind on a few things that we can talk about. And so what we're going to look at is one of the new default settings that you can change your old sites to that came out, that was a change in the default setting in Joomla 3.8.8. So appreciate your support of this channel. I am just going to look down and bring up the chat window here. And thank you for watching live today. If you are watching live, give the video a like, say hi in chat, and we'll talk later on as well. Hey, Vinny. And if you're watching the recording, please do subscribe and ring that bell to get notifications of new live streams and tutorials. 929 subscribers on the site, and I'm looking forward to hitting 1,000 soon. So it's going to be short and sweet what we need to look at today before we get to the chat. So why don't we transfer over to the screen here. There we go. Pay attention to that on the basicjoomla.com site. Remember, head on over to basicjoomla.com, click on giveaways, and enter the monthly contest for giving away the prizes. We have them listed there. I'm not going to mention them today because I mentioned them last night, but prizes there from myjoomla.com, regularlabs.com, and Joomla Shack. So check that out and go ahead and enter. So in Joomla, there are text filters that you can assign to groups in the access control list system. So that's when you look at the groups, you see there's registered, there's manager, there's administrator, there's super user, and up until Joomla 3.8.8, everything older than that, the administrator access control list group had no filtering applied to it. Now what that filtering does is, let's say you have someone who is adding an article to your site and they have an iframe, get an iframe to embed a YouTube video. They can paste that in there, and if there's no filtering, that iframe is going to stay. If you have the default blacklist of a filter applied to the group that person is assigned to, the iframe code will be stripped out. And the advantage of having these filters is that it keeps people from doing hinky stuff on your site. If someone were able to create a profile on your site and there was no filtering, they could maybe add some code that would embed another site to get people to click on it, and would just be pulling in an iframe. And there's lots of examples, and we're going to see some of the codes that are blocked on that. Anyway, so what you want to do now is apply the default blacklist filter to the administrator group. Only if you don't have any users on your site who are assigned to that administrator group that you want that only if you have any administrator, you don't have users assigned to that group that you want to be able to paste whatever they want. We'll see when we get into it. So I'm going to show you two ways. One is to go in manually, and I'm going to show you a really handy dandy tool that Phil Taylor has added to myjoomla.com that will do this for you on your site or all of the sites that you're managing as you work your way through. So here we are in the control panel of the basicjoomla.com site. We're going to go to Systems, Global Configuration. And in System Global Configuration, we're going to click on the tab Text Filters. Now, it automatically went there because I've been setting this up for this tutorial, but you'll probably end up in Site. Click on Text Filters and head on down to the Manager and then Administrator. You'll see there's no filtering. Now, when we look down below here, you can read this on your own, but it shows that Blacklist allows all tags and attributes except for those in the Blacklist. And so it gives you an example of some of the tags that are included in the default Blacklist. And you can read that, and you can see the attributes for the default Blacklist and other things. You can also read more about the text filter settings and the other options you have, because as we look at this drop down, you have the option of a custom blacklist, a whitelist, No HTML, no filtering at all. And of course, no filtering all is what administrators set to in default. So super easy to change this setting. Go on the drop down, click default blacklist, go up and click save. And once that refreshes, you have now closed a security hole in your site that is really not necessary to have. Even if you don't have anyone adding things to your site, why not just close another possibility by making administrator have this default blacklist? Because if something unforeseen happened and someone were able to put a profile on your site, even with all of your safekeeping and taking care of keeping things current and scanning for infections and having myjoomla.com scanning your site, doing audits, or not scanning, doing audits, going through all the files. Here's just one more thing to keep closed. Just like think of it as safety for your site as rivets on the wing of an airplane. If you're walking along and checking out the wing of an airplane you're about to fly and you notice there's a loose rivet, you probably don't say, or you shouldn't say, well, that's just one loose rivet. All the other ones are doing really well. And if you would say that, please let me know what airline you fly for so I never buy a ticket on it. No, let's just tighten up everything that we can in our Joomla sites so that if something else did happen, this would catch and stop somebody from doing something bad if they happen to get a profile that they could actually do something on the site. So that's how to do it manual way. Now let's check on, here we are. This is my wife's site that I often use as a guinea pig. Go to global configuration and go to text filters, and you'll see here is administrator, no filtering. Now I'm going to go to myjoomla.com here, and I'm going to look at this snapshot that I have of her site. And over here in the far right, I can click this, hide everything that's okay. And here's some issues still to be worked on. I'll probably do them in other tutorials. But this one right here, administrator group should have default blacklist filter enabled. I'm going to go over and click on investigate. And it's going to get live data from my site. And it's going to say, hey, look at that, blacklist not applied to administrators. So I'm going to click fix. Now, always have a backup of your site. And I think I probably already had a card that dropped down about backing up your site. Or I'll put it here later on in post-production. But we click on, so if you've got a backup of your site, click on fix this issue. Go ahead and fix it. You get a lovely bell ding now. And now when we refresh this page, we'll see that administrator is still set to no filtering. Let's just double check that. It says it's fixed. Did I do the wrong site here? 88 keys by the sea. Let's cancel out of this. Go system, global configuration. I think this is probably just a caching issue. Text filters. There we go. It was a caching issue. Default blacklist is assigned to administrator. So there's two ways to take care of that. One, if you just got one site, do it quickly on your own. System, global configuration, go to the text filters, or if you got lots of sites, or you're used to managing your site with myjoomla.com, just go and use that handy dandy tool and check out the other handy dandy tools that are there as well. So that pretty much wraps it up for this little topic. But like I said, every little rivet in the wing of the airplane is important. Every little bit that you can do for the security of your Joomla site is important as well. So before we head on over to the chat, I just want to thank you for watching today and watching to this point. Again, if you appreciate this video, if it was helpful, if I've earned a subscription, please do subscribe, ring that bell for notifications, and why not leave a comment if you have ideas of other things to be shown. And there are some things for me to catch up on from comments that people have left before. So with that in mind, as we head on over to chat now, I will already thank you for watching, and I just want to tell you, as always, enjoy your Joomla sites, and God bless. All right, Vinny, are you the only one in chat? Let me just check, because I do have some stats. I can bring up stats here for who all is watching here, how many are watching. And as I check that out right now, 5 are watching. Okay, so I'm one of them because I've got my live stream thing up here. You're one of them, and that means there's 3 that are lurking, which is great. It's possible, because this is super late. I had a doctor's appointment this afternoon that made me super late. Maybe Mary has this running, but who knows? Maybe Rick has it running and is listening in the background. And I know that Phil Taylor once listened on his iPhone. Oh. Uh-oh. Okay, Mary says she's here, but she's working. The site is down. Mary, you're working through supper. But I get it. That's a bummer that the site is down, but we've all been there, so we feel your pain. So, yeah, that's Mary, Vinny, and myself, and 2 others that are watching and listening. And you guys, it's okay for you to lurk. I'm not asking you to unlurk, because if every time we have people that are just watching that are, I keep mentioning them, tell them to chat, then they'll stop watching. And I like people just listening and lurking because it helps with the watch time for the channel, and guess it gives a little bit more cred. Huh? My hair is not having a very good day today. Look at that. I did get a haircut too, so there you go. Well, anyways. Yes, Mary, that is why you make the big bucks. Did I say that? That is one of the things I've been known to say. And you got your Joomla working, so your sites are showing up. Oh, my Joomla. MyJoomla.com working? You, Vinny, you had some sites that weren't showing up in MyJoomla.com. And so you've got them working there, so they're showing up, so you can use them all. I think that's what you're saying, and got that right. All right. Well, I appreciate it last week that you guys were giving me feedback about how things are going with the live stream. So there I was in my grandson's bedroom while my daughter and son-in-law and grandson and wife were out in the kitchen starting supper. And we had the bubble guppies in the background. I thought that would be pretty cool. And so my son-in-law, who's Samson 028, went on to, not to punk me, to troll me. So he said, nice bubble guppies. And so that was working. But I think with me broadcasting and then with him watching, it killed their internet connection because they, I forget what speed they have, but it's not the speed that I have here at home. Oh, okay. So you talked to the, okay. So you got the IPs whitelisted for myjoomla.com. Okay, cool. Well, good for them in a degree that they've got some filtering on there, so things, they're just not letting anybody on there. And you were able to sort that out. That's good. I think I had to do that on one of my servers. Or maybe I did both servers. I know that when I had one server, I had to do that. I whitelisted them for myself, but maybe I only did it because it said to do it. Oh, no, that's right. It's a company that I was doing web design for locally here, and I had to ask them to whitelist the IPs. So, yeah, that's not an uncommon thing. Anyway, so... yeah, so me broadcasting and my son-in-law watching and trolling me caused the connection to break down. Plus, I think it's just a bad connection there. In fact, even I tried to go on to use my data plan, and I barely had, I had 1 bar. And we're talking the city of Toronto. It's the capital of Ontario. It's a city of 6 million, and man, it was like drowning trying to get that done. So that's why I recorded it last night. So, Mary, do you have an idea what the deal is with your site there? I mean, obviously, if you did, it wouldn't be down. But so I should mention too. I mentioned before that I know that Hio asked about something on GDPR. General Data Protection Regulations for using Google fonts, and I think that's going to be in Rocket theme that I'm going to do that because that's the one that I know the best, but he wanted me to look into that. I have a review that I've got to do. I promised it almost a year ago for Nornext Competition, a component that you can run contests with on your site. It's a paid component. It's a pro component, and it kind of ran into a hitch because when I started to use it, the English was not native for North Americans. So I've helped them with the language files, and now I just have to get that review done. And then on that, oh, I've got a envelope here. Phil Taylor's sponsoring a video on two-factor authentication with YubiKey. And so he bought a YubiKey and he sent it to me. And so I have to open this. I have to figure out how to use it, which I don't think is going to be too hard. And then I'm going to do a tutorial on using two-factor authentication, which is something that I've not been doing much. I haven't done any of it with any of my sites because I don't know. I don't know that much about it. I know the concept of it, but I don't fully understand it, and I was just too afraid to totally lock myself out of the site. So that's going to be coming on the channel in a little while. And then I think I'm hopefully getting in a rhythm here in my business. It's been over 7 months, almost 7.5 months since I went full time, and the transition has been interesting as from a life management standpoint. But I will be, so I think I'm starting to get in a bit of a groove for that. Mary says yes, but had to download it, work local, and then upload the new database. Ooh, okay. Database stuff. Yeah, that's where we do earn the big bucks, to get delving into there. I have a friend, Rick with Smart Drive Test, who might be one of the lurkers, and we've had some weird things happen with some of his extensions, especially with a Virtumart to Joomla Quiz Deluxe, and sometimes people weren't added to courses when it ended up. It's like reading it's basically equivalent of reading the data on the screen instead of watching the whole thing in the matrix. And it's like, when you get in the database and start fixing things, fiddling around that, we are definitely earning our money, because when that stuff breaks for people that don't have experience to go in there or afraid of it, then that's a real rescue for them. I have experience in it. I'm still afraid of it. I'm just super, super careful. But of course, with the backup. And I think one of the things, too, that's a real pain with the with working in the databases is when you do a backup. All right, you back up the database, you download it to your computer, and then if something gets pooched on it and you have to upload it and it's huge, a lot of servers will time out before it gets fully loaded in. And I've been working on sites for people where I had to open the SQL file, copy and paste large chunks of it, or break it up into pieces, different files, and upload little bits at a time in order to restore the database without being timed out. And so it's a bit of a drag, which is why I like on my servers, I just got it set to and just hammer on the server, and that's pretty fast as well. So hey Corey, good to see you, man. Vinny, you use 2FA Google Authenticator. Hi-oh, good to see you. Yeah, now everyone's popping in. That's right, Vinny. Vinny, does 2FA Google Authenticator come with a USB key? I know that two-factor authentication involves, you can get something, a code sent to your phone. Okay, and so it's an app. It's a code sent to your phone. If you don't have access to your phone, you can have, if I believe right, and this is what I've been just looking at YubiKey so far, you can have a whole list of one-time use codes that you can use to log in to your site. But the cool thing about YubiKey is that there's a USB key, and if you plug it into the USB of your computer, it's already authenticated because you have the USB. So that's the part I need to set up and figure out, and then we'll demonstrate that too. So yeah, it'll be fun to learn, and I suppose afterwards, if I know what's happening, maybe I'll try the Google Authenticator. Yes, until you lose the USB key. That is correct. But then if you lose the USB key, I'm pretty sure you just go back to the YubiKey app, although I'm speaking as someone who still has to figure it out, if there is an app, or you use those numbers. But I like the idea of having a key, but I'm just kind of like, maybe I'm just a key kind of guy. I thought it might get a chain and just have it hanging around. People think, What's that? I mean, what could be more geeky than wearing a USB key around your neck? I was thinking about passwords the other day, and maybe I've mentioned this before, just laughing, thinking when I was a kid, because, the only time you ever had a password when I was a kid, so we're talking in the 70s, was when you had a fort in the vacant lot, and you wouldn't let anybody in it unless they knew they had the password. And of course, when you're a kid, those are big and heady days. You've got a fort, you've got a password, nobody can get in. I mean, basically, if they didn't have the password, they'd still probably get in, but it was fun. And now, consider everything from that, just that was the password. Now we have passwords for everything. It's become such a huge central part of life. And so that's an old man talking there. Pocket protector. Yeah, Vinny, pocket protector. No, I'm not going to get a pocket protector for walking around. It's not quite that bad. I don't know which would be worse, if I get a pocket protector or a fanny pack. Which is the stage of decline into nerdism? Is it pocket protector then fanny pack, or is it fanny pack then pocket protector? I know the next stage after that is fanny pack and pocket protector. So, anyways, Mary, you for a large database you use Big Dump. Is that socks with sandals? Yeah. Big Dump, is that big? Here I am. I'm actually searching on. I'm gonna Google Big Dump. Better throw SQL in there. Let's see. Okay, Big Dump staggered MySQL dump importer. Okay. I Googled Big Dump SQL tool. I figured that would probably keep me safe. Corey, what you say here? Sounds weird, but I used to keep your USB drives in your wallet a few at a time. Doesn't sound so much weird as it sounds uncomfortable. Big Dump staggered here. Let's just change the screens here. Here we go. Big Dump staggered MySQL dump importer. So it's www.ozerov.de Big Dump. Staggered import a large and very large MySQL dumps like PHP admin dumps, even through the web servers with hard runtime limit and those in safe mode. The script imports only a small part of the huge dump and restarts itself. The next session starts where the last was stopped. And that is, it's open source software. And this program is free software. Please don't hesitate to report any bugs. So, okay, here's the usage. Download, unzip bigdump.zip. Open bigdump.php in a text editor. Adjust the database configuration and dump file encoding. Drop the old tables on the target database. If your dump doesn't contain drop table, create the working directory. Cool. I'm going to try this. That'll probably make a good tutorial. And Mary, I feel so bad because I saw some people talking in the forums today about Google Maps replacements, and I really do want to do that collaboration with you since you're talking about it. So hopefully part of getting in the rhythm is of things in my business is to actually do some testing in the Google Hangout or something with you and test the recording just so we know we can do it. And I actually thought it might be smoother to do just as a tutorial instead of doing a live stream. So I'm going to write this down, ozerov.de. Check it out. So that looks pretty cool. So it's a PHP file that that it just runs through in a session and then keeps going and going afterwards. I like that. Excellent. That's another cool day in chat, learning from each other's strengths and experiences. Okay, so Corey says the practical footwear for every occasion. Yeah, socks with sandals. Socks with sandals, fanny pack, pocket protector, glasses taped together in the middle, and I'm going to say USB drives in your wallet. That will be the ultimate nerd outfit. Okay. Well, I've had a crazy day, and I'm heading out to a business group tonight that meets monthly at the church that we've been attending. So I'm looking forward to that. But I think I'm going to go and grab some supper since it's late, so I can run out to that. But I missed getting to chat the last couple of weeks while I was on holidays. And I missed my gear set up to do it so easily and to touch base. But those times come along, and but it's great to be back. Great to be back chatting with you guys, and guys generically, guys and gals. But really like this time each week, and appreciate you joining in. And Mary, I'm glad you found your problem there. You're going to get your site going well. Vinny, I'm glad that you've got My Joomla happening for all your sites. Corey, thanks for popping in. And Hayo, you're up super late. I actually just today was coming up with some ideas to maybe do something also on Twitch, because I found one of my sites is hacked. I don't know why it's hacked, but just a little thing that I threw up onto the I threw up onto the server to do a speed test on something. So I don't even know if it's really hacked, but I thought, I should check that out and just hang out on Twitch and figure that out. We'll see. Anyways, everybody, as always, thanks very much for your support of this channel. An old school PDA to go with all of that. Yes, and I have an old school PDA buried in a time capsule about a mile away from here. We buried in 2020, but it's buried for 20 years. We did a 10-year, and now we have a 20-year. So that's a Palm Trio that's in that one. I'm pretty sure I put the Palm Trio in there. Anyways, everybody, great touching base, great chatting, sharing with each other, supporting each other. And so, as always, I will say, enjoy your Joomla sites, and God bless. See you guys next time.